Hello, welcome to Theosophy in Wales. I'm Dave Marsland. Why can some people remember past lives? Now, I'm not talking about remembering past lives under hypnosis or as a result of inner work. I'm talking about people who can just remember past lives. Now, I don't think there's a satisfactory explanation for this, but I think there are some pointers. Well, firstly, being born into a culture with a belief in reincarnation. But the examples of remembering past lives come up everywhere. But I think if you're born into a culture that believes in reincarnation, then you're probably more likely to explore it and talk about it, rather than be reluctant because people might think you're a bit strange or you've lost it. So that's possibly a factor, being in a culture that accepts reincarnation. The other thing is that people who remember past lives have led ordinary lives. It's not very common to get a King Arthur or a Julius Caesar. They are people who remember living fairly ordinary lives. Past life recall is more common in children up to the age of 7. After the age of 7, the memories fade. Now that's probably because the identity, the current life identity, kicks in and displaces what comes through from the previous life. So I think that's a question of the personality taking over, the current life personality taking over. The memories in children are also spontaneous and voluntary. They're not the result of questioning or the idea that you test children to see if they can remember a past life. These are purely spontaneous and voluntary. Now, those children, there are a few who continue to remember their past life after the age of 7 tend to remember more. Their memories increase. There are also children who start to remember a past life after the age of 10. Now, in most cases, the manner of death is significant, and it's normally a natural death. It's murder, suicide, or accident. And very often, the child has a birthmark or birth defects which relate to an injury in a previous life. That's quite common. Now, with children remembering a past life and adults under hypnosis, there's a difference. Children's past life recall tends to be a recent past life. The death is actually quite recent, certainly within living memory, and certainly possibly that they could actually contact people that knew their original self in the previous life. With adults under hypnosis, the past life recall is often much farther back, sometimes several centuries. Maybe that children remembering past lives, their memories are much more easily accessible. Now, with adults remembering past lives, you need to be careful because it's possible for adults to reappropriate current life experience, possibly even fictional from a book or a film, as past life. So that's something that you need to be wary of. Now, adults remembering past lives, this is an adult who suddenly remembers a past life, not from childhood. It's normally a response to a trigger, and this can sometimes be a life-changing event or a traumatic event. Something happens in their life which resonates with the previous life, or they revisit somewhere. There's normally a trigger, and this indicates that past life recall is probably there within all of us. It just doesn't get triggered. Now, adults who recall past lives remember much more clearly than children do, and sometimes more than one life. That's interesting that this may suddenly spontaneously remember more than one life. And this may be because certain situations in their lives come round again. There's a repetition of similar situations and events. Finally, there's one statistic or fact. More women remember past lives as men than men who remember past lives as women.